Evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are watching us from. I am Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are subject matter experts on the topic of the day that helps us to share insights on the topic. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome and happy Sunday to you. Our conversation today is on a topic that is timely and thought provoking, designing the next you before 2026. I know the normal or the common thing is for us to wait till perhaps 31st of December, then we start scribbling certain things, New Year resolution and things like that. That is a kind of leaving it too late. And we felt coming to the last quarter of the year is a good time to start attending our mind to this all important topic. So we want to define the next us in 2026, God granting us the grace. We stand today at the edge of another new chapter, not just in the calendar, since it's the last quarter of the year, but in our personal and professional lives. In barely 2.5 months' time, the world will turn the page to 2026. The question is, who will you be by then? Who will you be in 2.5 months time that would have bat us in 2026? So the topic is looking at making us to pause and take stock, to look beyond resolutions and the routine goals of New Year resolutions. It's asking us to be intentional in designing the person we want to become in 2026. Because the truth is, the future does not just happen, it is crafted by the decisions we make, the habits we form, and the vision we hold for ourselves today. Designing the next you or the next us is not about changing who you are. It's about refining, reimagining, and repositioning yourself to meet the opportunities and demands of tomorrow. It's also about asking, what do I want to be known for? What is the next skill that I need? What relationships, what mindsets and values will shape my next level? So all this we hope to share more insight on as we go into the discussion today. So as we engage in this conversation, I want to encourage us to think deeply, reflect honestly, and dream boldly. The version of you that will thrive in 2026 is already within you, but it will take clarity, courage, and commitment to bring it to life. So let us open our minds, challenge our assumptions, and begin the creative process of designing the next you before the future designs work for you. If you don't design it for yourself, definitely the future will design it for you. And you may not like it because it may get you unawares or in a different direction that you want to go. So please remain connected. We'll go on a short break right now and then bring in our guest who is already in the house patiently for waiting for us to beckon on her. I want to thank you once again for joining. You are most welcome. We'll be right back after this short time out. Thank you. You are welcome back. Today on our show, I have the pleasure to introduce our special guest, who is none other than Ibironke Yekini. Ibironke is a distinguished expert in software testing and cybersecurity, renowned for her significant contributions to this field through a combination of academic excellence, professional leadership, and entrepreneurial ventures in industry as a technology leader. Ibironke has both OND and HND in computer science with distinction, demonstrating her early proficiency and dedication. She further solidified her expertise with a Bachelor of Science, BSc in Computer Science, as well as Master of Science, MSc in Cybersecurity, Threat Intelligence, and Forensics from University of Suffolk in UK, focusing on the critical aspects of identifying, analyzing, and mitigating cyber threats and vulnerabilities in business solutions. As a career transformational coach, Ibironke is dedicated to guiding individuals through career transition, offering mentorship and strategies for professional growth, youth development, and economic empowerment. Ibironke's career is marked by academic excellence, industry leadership, and a commitment to empowering others. Our multifaceted being, expertise, and dedication have left an indelible mark in her field of expertise, making her a respected figure and a source of inspiration for many. This is just a tip of her profile. If you are to read all her profile, we'll be here till tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming our special guest for today, Ibironke Yekini.
Thank you so much, Ma, for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
And you can see me?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ma, for having me. I remember the first time I was here, and we talked a lot about the business, growth, even for business already existing. So I'm glad that we are doing this again together. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ma.
Thank you very much. And thank you for obliging us once again and being a partner on this show. We appreciate you a lot. We felt it's time for us to look at this all important topic that sometimes we handle with levity because some people perhaps it's in the church when it's quarter to 12 on 31st of December that they start clipping some things. What do I want to do in the new year and this and this. We have a lot of new year resolution that are beating the dust, and we feel it's because people are not intentional about it or prepared adequately. So we are looking at this so that we just um, get their direction to it to get a better version of themselves in the new year, because the only thing people are thinking about in 2026 is the tax act, but there's a lot more that we need to talk about our personal growth, about our business growth, and about our better us in 2026. So that's why we're here. And to set the stage for understanding of this topic, when you hear the phrase designing the next you, what does it mean personally and professionally?
Mm. Thank you so much, Ma, for that question. Designing the next phase, designing the next you. Um, to me, it means taking full, I mean, from the word itself, designing the next you simply means you're taking full responsibility for your own evolution, right? You're not giving it to other people to do for you. You're not outsourcing your own growth. It's simply you taking full responsibility. Personally, I would say it's about pruning yourself, pruning your habits, your beliefs, your association, people that surrounds you, who no longer serves the next phase of your life. I would personally, for me, I would also say it's about shifting from, I mean, from Ibironke, from my own Ibironke now, preparing towards 2026, is me already shifting from operational leadership to legacy leadership. It simply means that I am focused on building systems and building successor that can make sure that my business thrive even without my direct involvement. So when I hear designing the next you, it's about what is next. What do I currently have now that doesn't serve where I'm going to? What do I have now that I need to steward the relationship more of so that it can go deeper and I can maximize it well in my new phase? And what does my new phase look like so that I can start building this new phase based on the tools, the people, the network, and the resources? A typical example, if you are someone that throughout 2025, all the kind of events you ever go through is party and no one there, right? If you are designing your next phase, it means that you have to start thinking about tech conferences, business conferences, um, conferences that uplift your career, uplift your and helps you gain better skills. It also means that if throughout 2025 you have not spent a whole month salary, I mean, this is 10 months, right? If you have not spent 1 month salary on your own personal development, it is time to start looking on how you are going to invest in yourself. And lastly, I would say that it's also about showing up and showing up well, right? That's what designing the next you mean. Showing up and showing up well. Don't just show up because they said it's free and everybody's welcome. but have plans and you show up better. So that's what designing the next you simply means to me, and that's what comes to mind when I first hear the word designing the next you for 2026 face ahead.
Thank you very much. Importantly, we should first pause and reassess ourselves. Are we where we want to be? Are we happy with where we are? Not just being unhappy in negative way in terms of aspiration. Is this the best we can do, or do we have something better that we can offer? So those are the things that you should ponder on before you now start thinking how you redesign the next you. And like our guests have said, is for us to now look at our current focus. How has it worked in line or in tandem with our goal? And is our current goal still the same that we want to pursue come next year, or we have a higher aim? So those are the things that helps you to look at how best you can design the next you, and hopefully the best you. Thank you very much. So the question now is, why is it now, before 2026, such a critical time for individuals to start redesigning themselves?
Hmm. Thank you, Ma. And thanks for that question. Why is it now? Why not since 2024? Why not by 2026? Because the next decade is very critical, right? And we are almost like in a turning point. Right now, AI is already making the most. I'm sure even somebody that doesn't even know anything about tech, I've heard the word AI. So AI, there is now more of, by 2026, there is now more of global instability. You can also think about the economy is shifting. I'm sure mommy can remember, their days. And the little I can remember, this my young age, is when before it was teacher used to be like the best thing, that anybody can ever be. Teacher, teacher, teacher. Everybody wants to be a teacher. Every mother wants to be a teacher. You know, at some point it moved to banking, bank. Everybody wants to be a banker. You see that bank, everybody wants to wear suit and tie, go to bank. I'm working in a bank. Even if it's a teller person, it's bank. Everybody have fantasy for that. At some point, it moved to oil and gas, right? And everybody wants to be in oil and gas. Oil and gas, so oil and gas, so oil and gas, so oil and gas. Oil and gas, money, money, money. But there was a major shift because the money somebody in an oil and gas are working 9 to 5. I mean, not in a senior level, but a typical professional working a 9 to 5 in an oil and gas company will, the money they make in a month, we have now gotten to the age where a tech person, we then move into tech, where a tech person can make it in a week, right? So we now move from oil and gas to tech. Everybody wants tech. Everybody wants to learn tech. At some point, when tech initially came in, it was development. Everybody needs to know how to code. Everybody needs to know how to code. But gradually, it moved to, even if you don't want to code, there are a lot of things you can do, and you can still function in tech. So everybody again move towards that plant. So you see a lot of people that are not even coding today, but they're in tech. A marketer is a tech person. A graphic designer is a tech person. A social media person is a tech person. All of these people are not writing code, but they are tech people, and they are making money, millions from this monthly. Now we have now come to the age of AI. The crazy thing with this AI is that, hey, what used to take us, I mean, without tech, it used to take us like 1 month. With tech, it reduced to 1 week. With AI, it reduced to 1 minute. People build an entire application in 1 minute, right? So it's shifting. So this is like a turning point that is really redefining practically all the industries very, very fast. So If you don't move and you don't redesign yourself now, you will be replaced. And you not only be replaced by AI, you'll be replaced by people who knows how to use AI to solve their problem. So yes, it is either now, any time after now is already too late. What you will now do is that you will now become the consumer instead of being part of the producers who are solving problem with this AI and then making money from it. You there will not be part of those that now they are buying. Guess what? You will not continue. Even if today you are like middle class, rich, if you don't evolve to be at the top, you will be a middle, you are middle class today, but by 2026 you will drop to low class because you had not redefined yourself ahead. So yes, that's the reason why doing it now is very critical.
Fantastic. You actually nail it on the point. And driving it home to business owners. Why is very important, this shifting in value base and all that, especially hinge on AI. We all agree that AI is in all aspects of our lives. There's no profession that has not been touched. And we have to look at it as business owners too, that it's going to affect us. The way we get people to work for us is different than what we have today. Many people want flexi hours, and if your business is not designed in a way to accommodate that, then you have a problem at hand already. And so it is critical right now for you to start thinking how best to redesign my business to fit in the new age, how best to redesign my goals and align it with what obtains currently. So it affects both personal, professional, and business alike. So the time to start thinking of all this is now. And that is why the time now is critical for 2026. So what global economic or technological shifts are driving the need for people to reinvent themselves in this period? We've talked about AI. I know AI tops the class. Is there any other one that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I would say behind every one of them is still AI, but there are other ones. To just break down the old AI so that it doesn't look vague to anyone that is listening. The four drivers, or the drivers are very clear, right? That I mean, the drivers that are driving these changes, they are very clear. Number one of them that I have down here in my notes, one is automation. Before now, customer as a business owner, let me speak to business owners now that are on this call. As a business owner, your customers will send you message, you know, and then you take your time before you respond to them. When you now respond to them, maybe they're already even forgotten. You will not talk to them about it. When you not talk to them about it, people will not negotiate, you will not implement it. That can take another some days and all. So, but today on Instagram, they will just say drop a comment and they will send you link automatically. So by just dropping comments, there's already an AI setup that will send them the link without while you are sleeping. You don't even know that somebody has dropped comments, but somebody has responded on your behalf. AI has responded on your behalf. So automation is a driver. The second driver I have here is talent globalization. So with people, if you're a professional and you are good at what you do, what you can now do, you can easily export your skill set. You don't need Nigerian company to hire you before you start making money. You can apply if you are good at what you are doing. Apply to international companies because companies are now fighting to hire those that have this skill set, which are not so much. And that's why it's so good that you quickly position yourself now to be good at it because people that knows it are not that much. Do you understand? The third one is climate. There is climate urgency, and then there is the new work economy. New work economy that the way things work now is not the same again. Before you just show them your CV, submit your CV, and that's it. Today, your CV is not enough to cut you the job again, because I'm good at what I'm doing is not enough again. Because if AI can do what you can do, what is the human part of what you can do that AI cannot do? That's really what they're hiring you for. If what you can do, if you sit down, you can write down step by step of what you can do, it means that AI can do it. So the question is, what is the human part of what you can do that AI cannot do? And that's really what has changed. So I would say that AI is erasing boundaries, right? Is erasing a lot of boundaries. Climate change is erasing a lot of boundaries. Talent globalization is erasing a lot of boundaries. So nations are competing for competence. People that fail to reinvent themselves will either become jobless or their business will crash. There is no other sweeter way to say it than that. So you have to prioritize inventing yourself. That's it.
Very clearly put. Thank you very much. So, how can people identify what aspects of themselves or their careers need redesigning or renewal?
Hmm. I would say the first one is assessment. Yeah, I think you mentioned it, so I don't want to speak so much about it again. You already mentioned it when we were starting, when we were doing the introduction of this session, and we talk about how we need to assess ourselves and identify the areas that is no longer growing, right? That you are 50, that you are 50 doesn't mean you cannot take the exam, that you cannot learn a new skill. We have people today that are taking tech skills training and they are 55, they are 60. I have a 62 years old man I was still training yesterday on his business, and he looked like, okay, this part of my business is outdated, right? This person has been working with him, maybe because the person is my this girl or this boy that is your staff, the person is your cousin, brother, nephew. So you just gave them the job that time because you wanted to have something to do. But we have come to the age where if you don't reinvent, your business is shutting down. So you have to assess yourself, assess your business, assess your career, identify where you are not growing, look at the results, look at the energy, look at the opportunities. The truth is that you will always see something that is not growing because stagnation is a sign. It's always show that this area, this is how we have been doing it. This, I'm sorry, but elderly people used to say, Basheman Sheni, this is how we used to do it. Let's not touch it. Oh, no, it can no longer work again. So you have to reassess what are the things that this is how you used to do it. How can we do it better? So the first thing is do assessment. Assess you yourself as a person, then assess your business or your career for both of them. And then now start knowing how to design it. So because it is when you identify it that you can redesign. So the first thing is to identify it, do assessment, identify it, and then redesign it.
Thank you very much. In a nutshell, do self audit. Self
Exactly.
audit of your personal growth or goals,
For
self audit
business,
on your businesses,
yes.
where you want to take the business to, what is ailing in the business, are there other allied areas that you can join into it? And like Bironke just said, I even want to take it higher. She said there are some 60-year-old that take courses in tech and all that. It doesn't
Yes.
stop them. You know, there are some jobs, online jobs that are for 80s and 90s
Mm-hmm.
because they want to keep your brain on. They offer online jobs. So
Yes.
if they have such opportunity, it means even 70, 80 can still learn, because if you can still do, then it means you can learn. So that is one key thing that we have to bear in mind. There's no age limit to learning. And the good news is that you have many short courses online that are some of them virtually free, that you can use your pastime to take, even if for the fun of it, or for you to also keep in the trend. We have a contribution from one of our online audience, Banjo Bayode, told us, what are the habits or mindsets I must unlearn today to make room for the person I'm becoming to have a better 2026. You got that,
Okay,
Bianca?
okay. I don't know if that's a question because I feel like this is what we are talking about. That
It's
you need
already
to do
answering part of the question.
exactly. You need to do a self audit of yourself.
Yes.
Like I gave an example previously. I don't know if it's a contribution or probably it's asking a question, but I see a question mark at the back, so I think it's a question.
It's a question in a way, but it's also underscoring the
Come,
points we are making. Perhaps just
exactly.
wanting additional tips apart
Addition,
from change of mindset, change of
exactly,
habits that does not align with your goals and things like that.
exactly. So, for example, I let me give a life example for me. I have a company called Testify Limited. I train people. I also help business owners as a consultant to rebuild their business and scale it. And even as a professional, I train people in tech. And I have staffs. And typical before now, please, since I'm the boss, I want to sleep at home and go to work when I feel like Abby. Maybe that's the benefit of being a Oga. That's the benefit of being an Oga. But the truth is
Hmm.
that attitude has to stop. It has to stop because one, you don't want to do the talking, you want to show workings, like we call it in our days, show workings. You want to show your team that punctuality is key. You want to show the team how being, knowledgeable at their work is. And before now, I'm like, since I'm not I already hired a marketing person. Let the marketing person do it. But guess what? I also had to learn marketing so that I can know what really works for my business and I can tell the marketing team the area they should be targeting. So the idea of is a marketer that should do it is none of my business. I had to die. I have to go and learn that marketing. Even though, of course, learn marketing does not mean that you have to become the digital marketer of your company. But you now have an idea. You have a contribution. If something, if something don't, if something is not working, you can go ahead and tell them that okay, this is you believe in sponsored ad. But we know that I have made more me. I have for my business, for my kind of business, I have made more sales in in my business than when in fact I've never used digital sponsored ad. But a digital marketer comes, all the strategy is sponsored ad. It is now you, based on your marketing knowledge, I will not say, the marketing for this business, yes, sponsored ad is good, but what sponsored ad will do is to increase the brand awareness. But if we want to make sales, this is how we should go about it. But if you don't have a knowledge about it, what would you say? You will not be complaining that you're not making sales. That the guy is the digital marketers are not making money for you. No, you have to be knowledgeable in them. So these are the mindsets you need to drop. That since I've hired somebody for it, it's no longer my business. Let me go and sleep. That is not what CEO means, though. You have to be all in. In fact, you should be able to do everything. Even though you will not be doing everything, you will not be able to guide your team properly. So that when somebody leaves your business is not collapsing and then you need to start afresh. Do you see? So the mindset of it's only like my customers are in Alagbado. So these are people I want to focus on. My dear, your customers are there in Accra. You have customers that can pay you in South Africa. So you have to also remove the limiting mindset of it is only in Nigeria that my customers are. So a limiting mindset. So when you are building your solution, whether it's even market that you are selling, or it's even clothes that you are selling, the quality of what you are selling has to matter. Because it's better than selling something expensive and it's quality than something that is cheap but is nonsense. So what do you want to be known for? Then you now start tweaking your services towards that. In fact, because you are trying to design yourself for 2026, there's some business that you need to shut down. Yes, you need to shut them down. And then now they start afresh again. You are the same person that you want to collect business from government, but your business is not even registered. You're not even paying tax. You don't even have the right licensing. And then you said government is not giving you contract. Did you even apply? Do you even have what it takes to apply? So you need to, it's all about it's all start from the mind. You need to first of all remove a lot of things. All these, I'm sorry, I mean, if my mom is on this call now, she will say, what are you trying to tell me? As I have one of my mentors today, she's going to her 70s, and she's just starting a new business that is not even related to what she has been doing before. And she collected lawyer, just legal thing that Wepa set up her business. She collected business consultant. And in fact, I was part of the team that she hired. We helped her set up her business from scratch. The money she has made under 6 months in this 2025 is more than what she has made in over 15 years. Because she has to refix her entire, even, in fact, we have to coach her on her whole mindset. That you are 70 or 60 doesn't mean that, time with the up boy, I'm not take care of me. No, because even the young everybody's trying to catch their breath. And because you're even elderly, they can say, because this person is elderly, they see, organizations, governments, everybody has more trust in you than they have trust in us. They trust you more because they know that it's not as if you want to come and fraud them and run away. Which leg you want to use to run away? But a young person can run away. Right? Some business they will not even give a young person that is single contract. But you that is a father and a grandfather, they believe you because you are more stable. And if you are not equipped to take over those opportunities, and you're just saying, don't worry, when my children come, you go and sit down in church. I'm not saying you should not sit down in church and pray. I'm a Christian, and I 100% your prayer must not miss one day, but put in the work too. The days of God will do it alone, it has passed. You need to now merge your faith with work. So you might not even be the one that will do it, but you can position yourself. You can rebrand yourself in a way that opportunities will come to you, and then you will pass it to your children or pass it to people that can do it. You will just collect your own commission. Do you see? So I think one of the first things you need to do is working on the mind. Anything you can write down and say, I cannot do this thing. That thing, you need to sit down and start thinking of how you can do it. So you need to first of all work on the mind. Remove all this limiting, Nigeria is not good. See, in fact, I know that time was going on that, but I need to say this. This whole ideology of Nigeria is not good, Nigeria is bad, so there's no money. I'm not saying there's honey and milk flowing, no. But it is still in the same Nigeria. Somebody just bought a house of 270 million today. In this same Nigeria that is not good. And guess what? No, don't tell me that they have connection, no, because it's not connection. The problem that me and you saw that we are complaining about, the person has an idea of solution. Because he did not have connection, he went to say, okay, they give me this contract, you will collect 20%, you will collect 10%, you will collect 10%. Government gave him the contract, right? And then all his gain is 20%, but he got the contract. That 20%, he used it to start up another business. Today, he can buy a house worth of 270 million. The same country that both of us are. It's not that he went to collect the money from abroad. So all those, the sit down, the mindset of Nigeria is already bad. It can never be good again. It is for you, it's not me and you. Because me, Nigeria will favor me and I will make millions. We
Amen.
buy
So
plenty houses inside. So
amen.
let me stop there.
Fantastic place to anchor it. Definitely, if you see the goodness in Nigeria, you eat of the good. And I don't want to say
Absolutely.
the other side. We should. That is one mindset that we should all change, or we should all go into the new year with. That this
Yeah,
country is good. This country is blessed, and I'm part of the inheritance of the goodness
absolutely.
and the blessing. So we'll continue to confess positively. And one of our audience, uh, what's her name? Fumi, also buttress your point that faith without work is dead. So that
True.
one is also there. The Bible has does that you need to, even if you're a Christian, you need to work. But beyond what you have said, is very true that our mindset is very key, which is part of the points contributor by your made. There's one thing that comes so loud in all your explanation and anchorage of the points, adaptability. We
Mm.
must be flexible, we must be adaptable, we must be ready.
Yes.
Like you said, somebody was courageous enough to start all over again. If the
Mm-hmm.
business is not working for you, don't say, oh, I've toiled and sweated on this business, that's it is do or die. It is, if it's not working, it's not working.
It's not working.
So you need to redesign. You need to look at maybe even if it's totally disbanding that business and focusing on a new one. If that is what will work, that is what will work. So we need to start being adaptable, being flexible, so that we are not too rigid and putting our mind in a stereotype kind of picture. So that is perhaps what I will add to that issue of mindset, change of mindset, skill set, which we have said several times. You need to learn skills, you need to identify your skill set gap, things that you want to do that you have a gap. Even if you are not going to be an expert, you should also be aware of what this. So when somebody, the expert, is talking, you are able to flow. They are not talking, it's not like talking Greek to you. Okay, let me just quickly take a contribution from one of our regular audience, Dr. Ebela saying from Abuja. He goes to us,
Yes.
the age of don't fix it, it is not broken, it's fast. You must audit yourself, innovate at the speed of thought to stay relevant and continually add value. Fantastic. Maybe I will just tweak that to say at the speed of light, because even some thoughts can drag. Because
Yes.
where we are now, everybody is on the move. So if it doesn't break, don't fix it. Those days are gone. You
Those
need to
days are
fix.
gone.
You need to
They are
look at
gone.
what you need to fix, even if it's not broken. It can be tweeted or
Can be
mended.
improved.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Asain, for that beautiful
Yeah, thank you,
contribution.
sir.
So, in all that we have been talking about, skill set, mindset, and all that, we are more or less talking about change. And as we all know, as human beings, we are not that comfortable with change. We always want to stay in our comfort zone, no pun intended. So, as change can be uncomfortable, what common fears or barriers prevent people from redesigning themselves?
Hmm. I think in a way, I sort of answered that question initially.
Mm,
I answered it, but without the question. The fear of starting over
mm,
is very common. But it's just the way your YouTube now. I'm sure you have a number of followers on your YouTube, and then you have had to host series of this kind of events, and then you have grown to probably you have like 1,000 subscribers, and then you already have a plaque. Let's say you already have a plaque from YouTube for having 1,000 subscribers.
mm,
People already know that every Sunday like this, monthly or quarterly, you host, or weekly, you host sessions like this. And then they're not saying you should go and start over again with 0 subscribers. Fear will fall creeping like, Egbami, where am I supposed to start from? All the 1,000, how will I get them? How will they subscribe again? How will I introduce myself again? How will I do this? The attachment that people also have with titles. Everybody has been calling you the CEO, 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 CEO of XYZ, CEO of Premium Enterprise, CEO of this. And then I will also say that the third one is comfort with current relevance. People are, you see, people have just comfortable. Like what? Like, Doctor rightly said in the last person that gave a contribution, Mr. Abel
Dr.
said,
Asain,
yeah, that if it's not broken, why are
don't
we
fix
fixing it?
it.
So people are already comfortable. Like, so those things are what concerns people and affect them from even progressing or making a change. These are the things that scares them. But in all of these things, one thing that is common, which I would say the answer to it again, is people are confusing discomfort with experience. Ma, if you are going to start this YouTube again, there are some things you did when you were starting now that you won't do when you are going to start again. When you are going to start again,
Correct.
and that's the way it is. The reason why this lady that I give as an example could start a business this year, make what she had made in 6 months was more than what she had made in 15 years of her business, is because not only did she start again, which the fear will always be there, that one you cannot take it away, but the experience she has had in 15 years, she merged it into 6 months. What do you expect? It's an outburst of profit. So we need to start turning that discomfort into opportunity, into another way for us to implement our experience. If I'm going to start again today to becoming a trainer, whether business or career, it is not the way I started 7, 8 years ago. That's not the way I will start now. Because the reason why you cannot even start like that again is because there is not a lot of things to make your life easy. Before, you don't have a website. Today, if you know how to type English, you can build a website under 1 minute. You can create a host, everything you need to hire a developer for, graphics designer for, you can do it if you have just a tech knowledge. So what is to take people today, if you know, before when you want to register on CSC, you have to go to somewhere, cafe or CSC office, you have to submit application, they will not respond to you. It can take up to 3 months, 6 months to get I've registered my business. Man, as we are speaking on this call, this is 5:49. Before 6 o'clock, I can register a business because they have implemented AI to it. I will register a business name under 10 minutes. It has changed. So before you sleep tonight, you can have a business registered because you now have a tech knowledge. So the discomfort we feel is the inconvenience that's supposed to happen because we are moving into a new phase that we don't have. But the good thing is that you are not starting over blank. You are starting with experience. It's not like you're starting a job with 10 years of experience. They will say, a 5 years old child with 10 years of experience. It's because of the wealth of experience. That person that is coming with a 25 years old lady that is coming to your company with over 6 years of experience will not be collecting the same salary that an intern who is 28 years old will collect. Because it doesn't matter how long you have been functioning on it. If it is not working, it is not working. As long as you can implement something new, you can gather that your experience. I moved from being a teacher in a primary and secondary school to becoming a tech industry leader. And I was a tech person focused on my software engineering stuff. So now I have people that I'm coaching in business. I'll be in Abuja next week. There are some people there's some business owner I have to sit down with and discuss their business with them. Okay, these are the things you need to improve. Okay, this is how you audit your staff. This is how KPI you need to put in place. These are the monthly KPI you will set. This is how you do appraisal. Look at where I'm coming from. Look at where I am. And then we are building AI tools to help business owners do quick audits so that in 2 months, you will be able to know if this staff should be with you or should not be with you. They can audit themselves and get out of the equation. And then you hire people that are competent. So the fear of starting again is a major thing that people used to have. The fear of, hey, Amy CEO, rodent oil for 60 years. People will not see me that I'm just starting afresh. But don't forget, you're starting afresh with experience. Let me stop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Leading with that fear of starting over is the fear of failure. It's not just the starting over, the fear of failure. Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to be labeled as a failure. And even you yourself, you don't want to label yourself as a failure.
Failure.
To say that you've been, like you said, I've been at the ends of affairs and just to now be at the backbencher or something like that. So, but if that is going to take you higher, why not? If not, so that's the question. So, and that is what we talked about, adaptability. flexibility, so that you do not box yourself into a corner. Don't be too rigid and don't be too unkind to yourself. You are the one that made the effort. Perhaps that is not working today, maybe working then, but for some circumstances not working again. The same you can also pick up with better experience and start afresh and have a quantum leap. So we should also encourage ourselves and not like my son will always have a cliche on his DP, face your fears. So let us face our fears and grapple it with courage. So how can individuals stay resilient with their redesign process if it doesn't go as planned? Like you have said all this now, and somebody now say, okay, yes, I'm ready to redesign myself. But if it doesn't go as planned, how can it stay resilient with that?
I would say, first thing is resilience. There is no step one, two, three to becoming resilient. Really, resilience is built on learning. Look, oops, situation will happen. You will learn on it. You will reinvent yourself. Now, the good thing is that I also like to iterate is that don't always interpret failure as a loss. That you failed at something does not mean that you have lost. You have to use
You
that
profited
failure.
experience.
You said
I said you have profited or gained experience.
exactly. Thank you, ma'am. Use it as iteration one. This is how I. This is what I did, and I failed at it. Okay, that means this road is not. It will not lead to Akure. Okay, now let's come back. Let's come back to Osho the garage. It's in learning that is Ondo that we are going to. I don't know what we're going to do at Ota in the first place. Okay, now that we have missed road, let's come back to Lagos first. Now, we know that if we go through this route, we are going back the wrong way. Let's try another route. So, when a failure happens, it's not a loss, it's iteration one. If there's only one thing you have gained from that thing, is experience. Because you have failed at that thing, is the reason why you will not repeat it again. If you have not gone to water in the name of going to Ondo, how would you know that that's a wrong route? Do you see? So because you have done it, it's not this one is not like they told you. This one you experience it for yourself. You know that it's a wrong way. One, you will not do it again. Two, if anybody also wants to take that route, you will also correct them. Can you see how just one failure has interpreted to multiple benefits for you? So both you and any other person that you know. So if there are 500 people that are supposed to go through that wrong way again, you will not allow them. So 500 people have learned how not to fail because of your own single failure. So it is not a loss. It's actually an
Yeah.
experience. Our experience one, for us that do chemistry, is experiments. Experiment one. Okay, this is now how we done. Okay, let's go and do the next one. Because for every new iteration you have, every first iteration will always look confusing. You will always be confused. Before you are starting business so that you can help your sister, your cousin, your neighbor. And then the system fail because your cousin they stole your money. The other one they cannot account for it. The one that ate all your food stuff and went to give it to their boyfriend. You have learned that next time if I want to hire someone, I have to go through the right route. I have to look for somebody that is competent, that has experience. These are the KPIs. These are the if you do well, this is what you will get. If you do anyhow in my business, this and this and these are the consequences. So it is not a loss in real sense. It is the cost you pay for gaining experience. So let me I trade this one in one line. Failure is the cost you pay for experience. It is not a loss. It is never a loss. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Ibiroke. I wish we can go on and on, but I'm looking at the time, it's like it's flying. You've
It's
done
flying.
wonderfully well today and you've shared great insights into this topic. We've not really exhausted what we want to say, but I think, like they say, a little is enough for the wise. we've been able to broach the topic and then uh, direct people's attention to this important area of their life. And I believe and I pray that it will have a meaningful or positive impact. Thank you very much. Where we are on, we had some people join us. We have Fumi, I believe, from Lagos, regular audience Taiwo Ojo from Abuja. We have Shegun also joining us. We have Ayeni from Ikorodu, Bayo who also contributed from Lagos. We have Dr. Aseyin tuning from Abuja, and some others have not been able to uh, catch their name. I say thank you very much for joining. We appreciate you. I appreciate especially our guest speaker. I mean, the special guest of today for great
Wow.
insights she has shared on this very important topic for us. I appreciate you, Yekini. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Ma, for having me. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
You done wonderfully well. So I just quickly round up because the time is we have only 2 minutes. So as we draw this insightful session to a close, one thing is clear: the future is not something that simply happens onto us. It is something we design, one deliberate choice at a time. Designing the next you is more than a catchy phrase. It's a call for intentional living, to pause, to evaluate, and to reimagine the person we are going to become. It's about crafting a version of ourselves that aligns with purpose, resilience, and relevance in an ever changing world. Before 2026 arrives, by the grace of God, we will all be alive to see it. It will arrive sooner than we think. We think it's 2.5 months in terms of calendar away, but it's like just round round the corner there. So we must each commit to this process of reinvention. It's very important professionally by upgrading our skills and embrace new knowledge. Personally, by nurturing habits that foster balance, growth, and well-being, and discarding the bad habits that has not worked well for us. We are able to assess this ourselves when we do our self audit. Then socially and spiritually, by contributing meaningfully to others and staying grounded in our values. So as you live here today, you may ask yourself, what must I start doing, stop doing, or do differently to design the next better version of me? May we all walk boldly into the future, not as spectators, like our guest speaker said, not as consumers. We should also be like part of the producers, but as architects of our own transformation. I want to appreciate all of you joining us, appreciate our special guests, and I pray that all this will work for us positively. Till I come your way again, let us not drift into the next year by default. Let us design it by intention, because the person you become by 2026 will not be determined by chance, but by choice. Have a blessed new week. Thank you very much. God bless you.